Okay, everybody, we're going to look at the domain of a function. Just a quick review. This is not anyway a full lecture on it. So a couple minute review here. The domain of a function. The domain represents the inputs that produce the desired set of outputs. Okay, so and what are the desired set of outputs? Most of the time in math, it's just real numbers. So the domain is real numbers that you're putting into the function. The range, or what we want out, is real numbers in general as well. So there's only a few different things that, a few different functions that don't like, well, that we deal with in Algebra 2 that don't like certain inputs. One of them is the square root function. So f of x is equal to the square root of x. That function right there, okay, it will take anything in there and produce an output, but some of the outputs are what we don't want, because the desired set of outputs that we want are real numbers. And if I did f of -1, that's the square root of -1, which is I. That's an imaginary number, and we just typically don't want to deal with imaginary numbers in a function. We want the function to take in real numbers and output real numbers. Now, there are a few functions that you can't even calculate. The function is trying to calculate something a lot of times, and there are sometimes that you can't even calculate. So, for instance, the 1 over x, our f of x equals 1 divided by x. If we think of that as 1 over x or 1 divided by x, we know that division has a problem in one specific case. It's when you divide by 0. 1 divided by 0 is undefined. Okay, that's undefined. So that means that x equals 0 is not in the domain of our function. So how do we describe that domain? Well, we can say that any other number we can divide by. So we'd say the domain is all reals except 0. All reals except 0. So if we had a situation where maybe it was still a division, maybe there was a division in our problem, f of x equals 2x divided by x plus 1. There's a division in our problem. That division is still a problem. If we have divided by 0, if we ever get an input, f of something gives us 2 times something divided by 0, okay, then we're going to definitely, we have division by 0, that's going to be undefined. Well, what x value, what input's going to give us 0 here? Well, look here. This is going to be -1 plus 1. So f of -1 would give us division by 0, that's undefined. So our domain is all reals except -1. Okay, so there's your quick domain lesson.